Dana White sends UFC fans wild with bombshell update on Jon Jones vs Tom Aspinall. Dana White gave an update on Jon Jones vs Tom Aspinall following Saturday's UFC event. Dana White has dropped the biggest update yet regarding the UFC super fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. The final UFC event of 2024 took place on Saturday as Joaquin Buckley beat Colby Covington in the main event of the card from Tampa, Florida. Speaking after the show, White fielded questions from the media, where he provided a major update on Jones vs Aspinall. In a bold statement, he said he guarantees fans will see UFC champion Jones face interim title holder Aspinall. Asked if the UFC heavyweight unification bout is the biggest fight he can make in 2025, he replied, 100%, before adding, I think it's probably the biggest fight in heavyweight history and it's a massive fight in the history of the company, too. It's a big fight. On Jones' supposed reluctance to fight Aspinall, White continued, it's weird. Let me tell you what's weird about that. So, usually, those guys say that sh*t behind the scenes and not publicly. Jon says that sht publicly and not behind the scenes. Jon is a very unique individual to deal with. From day one, I've been confident that Jon Jones would do that fight. Even before UFC 309, I said, if he won, there's no way Jon doesn't do the fight. Jon Jones isn't afraid to fight anybody, and that's a fact. The only time that anything remotely weird has ever happened with Jon Jones is the time his effing camp did the weird Chael Sonnen thing. We can't fight Chael Sonnen on short notice. And that wasn't him, it was his team, and he listened to his team for whatever reason. But that's like the goofiest effing move in UFC history. Other than that, Jon Jones behind the scenes is not a guy who turns down fights. White ended by guaranteeing that Jones vs Aspinall will meet each other in the octagon next year. Yeah. I'll say 100%, he concluded. Jones made his return to the UFC when he delivered a masterful showing to stop Stipe Miocic at last month's UFC 309. As for Aspinall, he hasn't fought since his 60-second demolition of Curtis Blaydes at UFC 304. Jones and Aspinall appear to be on a collision course in what is being dubbed as the biggest fight in UFC heavyweight history.